Airbus have been considering the send-off of another motor choice variant of their A350 arrangement for certain years now. Yet here is the thing, their A350 setup just got included under 10 years prior, which is child years in the flight market, yet something has changed that desires another motor choice to air transport's currently strong, a 350S arrangement. So what changed? To comprehend this, we first need to begin from the start. The Airbus A350 family is a bunch of long-reach wide-body, double-motor jetliners, which were Airbus's reaction to Boeing's fantasy lighters, otherwise known as the 787s. Consider it an amicable competition in the realm of avionics. Yet what sets the A350 family separated is that it's Airbus' most memorable major endeavor into utilizing composite materials, for example, carbon fiber-supported polymers. So the A350 family is really an upsetting plane for Airbus now. In terms of clean sheet plans, the A350 is the furthest down the line expansion to the Airbus family. Subsequent to making its flight debut, simply finished 10 years prior in June 2013. In general, the qualification of most recent release goes to the A220S, which were basically patched up Bombardier C-Series planes. Then there are two significant business variations of the A350 at the hour of this video. The A350-900 and the A350-1000, the 900, a roomy wonder, obliges somewhere in the range of 350 travelers and stretches its wings to cover a scope of 8,100 nautical miles. Yet we should discuss its huge sibling, the A351,000, an enormous Voyager dream with space for north of 100 extra travelers. It soars to a limit of 460 travelers. And that is not all, as it brags a surprising reach. 8,700 nautical miles, outperforming the 900 and guaranteeing long-stretch trips without pit stops. Both these eminent airplanes are controlled by two Rolls-Royce Trent XWB turbofan motors, a unique pair upgrading push and proficiency. However, the A350 story doesn't end there. Minor variations like the ultra-long reach A3590 broaden their span by a great 18%. And remember, the Airbus Corpus Stream ACJ 350 brought into the world from the A350-900 UAR with a stunning greatest scope of around 10,800 nautical miles, both the A350-900. What's more, A350-1000 airplanes are known to be very productive regarding fuel utilization and working costs. They've likewise been really fruitful with the 35,900 recording 771 orders, while the A350-1000 has recorded 226. Thinking about the overall newness of the A350 setup in the flight domain, you may be asking, for what reason is Airbus set to present another motor choice for the A350? Well, that question probably won't be as direct as you naturally suspect. You see, Airbus have consistently kept up with the drive to be the main airplane maker on the planet, since they never avoid contest at whatever point they see a potential contender to their piece of the pie spring up. They will generally act on it this time. The opposition from Boeing's presentation of a super airplane family, the Boeing Trip 7X. The Trip 7X is Boeing's most recent group of long-reach, wide-body twin planes. And they are genuinely something extraordinary. Why, you inquire? Well, first of all, they come prepared with the new force to be reckoned with, GE 9X motors from General Electric. These awful young men are set to turn into the biggest motors in business flight history, conveying unparalleled power. Yet erring on this later, the 777X will likewise highlight composite wings with collapsing wingtips to lessen the wingspan while on the ground. Now there are two variations of the Tri-7X, the 78 and the 79 as far as range. The Scramble A takes the crown with an amazing scope of 8,745 nautical miles, leaving even a 351,000 in the residue. Yet don't excuse its kin at this time. The Dash 9, while offering a somewhat more limited range at 7,285 nautical miles, is no sucker. This is on the grounds that the Dash 8 is fundamentally an abbreviated variant of the Dash 9. Less burden with a similar motor limit generally prompts a higher reach capacity. Now, with regards to traveler limit, these monsters have their own accounts to tell. The Dash 8 is ready to welcome around 3,384 travelers, going no holds barred with Airbus A350-900 on the opposite side of the ring. we have the Scramble 9 prepared to have more than 425 Voyagers. That is a unique advantage for aircrafts flying the most active long-stretch courses. The Tri-78 is supposed to house around 384 travelers and will be in direct contest with Airbus A350NEO in the meantime. The 777 is supposed to accompany a traveler limit of over 425 individuals, which is incredibly cost-effective for aircrafts employing the most active long-stretch courses. The Tri-79 is expected to rival the Airbus A350-1000. Anyway, going by the numbers, the reach and limit of the Excursion 7X airplanes doesn't give them a significant benefit over the A350. Once, as a matter of fact, you could contend that the A350 airplanes are better anyway. Nothing is further from the truth, since this is where the GE9X motors from prior come in. You see, the new GE9X motor from General Electric was grown solely for Boeing's 777X arrangement. It was gotten from General Electric's prior motor, the GE90, with cutting-edge composite materials, as well as higher detour and pressure proportions. And this is an issue for Airbus A350 family that is on the grounds that the GE9X incredibly upgrades productivity across board. Truth be told, the outing 7X arrangement stands to help up to 10% lower explicit fuel utilization, decreased commotion, etc. This is a colossal improvement, and that is not all the decreased fan cutting edge. Thickness, too, works on streamlined effectiveness. However, by far the main part of the GE9X motors will develop for the 777X planes is most likely the ecological angle you see with more organizations attempting to practice environmental awareness. Carriers are being compelled to decrease their carbon impression, and the most effective way to do this is by utilizing generally ecologically viable motors. This is where the GE9X takes the cake with General Electric, promising half lower emanations, as well as the most minimal NOx or nitrous oxide poisons of any motor, and its class level. It's hard not to see the benefits the motors would provide for the Excursion 7, yet there is one not so little issue here. The GE9X motors have a few gigantic issues. You see, the GE9X could look great on paper, yet they have in reality been tormented with various issues. One of these issues is the toughness of the stator vanes at the front finish of its high-press blower. This issue caused fumes gas temperatures to be outside, anticipated goes and come about in troublesome part corruption. These issues with the GE9X motors prompted introductory postponements of the main trip of the 777. As a matter of fact, General Electric needed to review a portion of their motors from Boeing during advancement due to various protests and not very far in the past. In November 2022, it was uncovered that one of the GE9X motors in a Test 9 experienced a specialized issue during testing. This prompted the test program being stopped as Broad Electric assessed the issue currently. It's normal that overall Electric would fix the motor issue before Airbus can even contemplate finishing the arrangement for the motor of the A350NEO. Yet there's been more issues with the Excursion 7X. Back in September 2019, a freight entryway brushed off on the 777X during static airframe testing. Within the sight of FAA examiners, luckily nobody was harmed, and keeping in mind that this was definitely not a significant issue, it would set a typical topic for the Tri-7X, which has thus prompted various defers. For example, the first conveyance was pushed from an at first expected 2020 to 2021, and afterward 2022 in 2021. A FAA letter to Boeing was uncovered to postpone type confirmation until 2023. Because of a flight test episode, this made Boeing further push conveyance of the Tri-7X to 2024, and in the end to 2025. Whether they accomplish their 2025 objective is yet to be seen, which is awful information for Boeing, yet uplifting news for Airbus, as it purchases the truly necessary chance to think about on how to manage the A350NEO plan. Now, chiefs from Airbus have affirmed that the organization are without a doubt focused on the execution of the A350NEO. As a matter of fact, they're now on the chase after motor suppliers, and with General Electric actually attempting to consummate the GE9X motors, there's plausible that the following motor delivered for business. Flying could outperform its capacities. Organizations, for example, Rolls-Royce, Safran, and Pratt & Whitney are current CLY dealing with motor plans which could in principle beat the GE9X, or, if nothing else, enhance its current disadvantages. Even broad electric themselves could foster a different motor for the A350NEO. Assuming that need be in reality, they're probably going to get the improvement contract given their imparted history to Airbus anyway. Getting motors would be the least of Airbus concerns. Rather, the expense of fostering another motor choice variation of a setup that has scarcely been 10 years in existence doesn't appear to be worth the effort. So what do you believe? Are we going to see the A350NEO at any point in the near future? Do Airbus truly need to enhance their A350 arrangement, particularly as the ongoing motor choice? A350s are still in somewhat appeal. It appears as though Airbus are able to endure it a piece, however, and we probably won't see any significant turns of events for the A350NEO for the following couple of years, fortunately for Airbus. The different postponements of their would-be rival, the Boeing 7X, has gotten them sufficient opportunity to evaluate the circumstance better under current conditions, if the Airbus A350NEO is ever to work out as expected. It's likely going to take for the rest of the 10 years before we can see it take to the skies, and assuming it at last ends up working, they'll most likely gain from the inadequacies of the outing 7X to convey an airplane that each aircraft would ask for.